Libba, thank you. And of course, everyone's attention, certainly a lot of us focus right now on Hurricane Irma and what this massive storm means for us locally and also our neighbors to the south.
Yeah, so many people want to know where this thing is headed. We just don't know. We got an idea, but just don't know for sure yet.
Weather forecasting is so frustrating and fascinating at the same time. But if you remember even back last year, Matthew, and back in '89, Hugo, 5-6 days out, we had no idea what the end result would be. So we're still kind of in that mode, but we're getting a little bit closer to having a solution. And we'll certainly have plenty of lead time to keep you updated, but now is the time just to start thinking about that hurricane plan. 84 degrees, feels like 90 right now. Dew point at 73, humidity at 69%. Hour by hour forecast. We've had some showers and thunderstorms. Somerville, you got quite a dose of rain earlier. We'll keep that slight chance in the 7 o'clock hour, 82, but then we dry things out. Most of you will remain dry tonight and in the upper 70s. So we have Irma. This is the Category 5 hurricane. East of Irma, we have Tropical Storm Jose, the 10th named storm of the season. But obviously, we're going to focus on this storm right here where, again, the eye wall is so very pronounced on the satellite image. I was looking at some of the data between weather hits, and it looks like hurricane hunters found an even lower pressure. So at the 8 o'clock intermediate advisory, this may be even stronger. And if it does get stronger, it may rank as the strongest of all time in the Atlantic. Max winds are 185 miles an hour, moving to the west at about 15 miles an hour. The last pressure that officially was taken was 926. Here's that projected track from the National Hurricane Center. And again, you can't really focus on the red line. We have to look at the entire cone because we know that these storms have a mind of their own, and especially 4 and 5 days out, but we think it probably will go through the Florida Straits, and once it gets into that area, there could certainly be a turn more to the north, either on the eastern side of Florida, over Florida, or the western side of Florida, and that's what we're looking at in 3 different scenarios with 3 different models. This is the American model, which takes it along the east coast. That's probably the worst scenario for us. Meanwhile, we also have the European. That brings it over Florida into the southeast. Not a good solution either. And then the Canadian actually moves it a little farther west, more into, I'd say, the eastern Gulf of Mexico, impacting those states there. So impacts certainly tropical storm force winds first as the storm gets a little bit closer. This is our 5-day forecast, and this is the probability of seeing tropical storm force winds. And you see all the way towards the Florida Straits right now, they're up to a 70 or 80% chance, so they will feel it first. What about hurricane force winds? Well, as we extend out in time, again, this is 5 days out. There's a small threat. They could even see hurricane force winds as early as Sunday evening. Now, a lot of information about this storm. Hurricane Irma right now with the winds of 185 miles an hour is tied with a Florida Keys storm of 1935, Gilbert and Wilma for the second strongest winds in the Atlantic on record. Hurricane Allen had 190 mile an hour winds. That was number 1. Now you look at the computer models, and what we look at, this is guidance. So when the Hurricane Center runs all these different models, they have different solutions. Then they kind of draw their cone based on the most reliable models. You may say, what is this model? That's a climatological model that basically looks at storms that have been in the same area and where previous storms have gone. So history plays a big role in hurricane forecasting as well. Well, not the history, but the future in terms of our 7-day forecast. Overnight tonight, we're at 73, 85 for tomorrow. Showers and thunderstorms likely with a cold front coming in. Then for Thursday and Friday behind the front, things cool down. Look at the low temperature on Friday morning. We could see some low 60s. Obviously a big question mark then for early next week, depending on what Irma does. 84 degrees, showers and thunderstorms likely at the beach for tomorrow. Scattered shower thunderstorm on Thursday and 80, and then much quieter weather until we get to late in the weekend and especially early next week. Hey, yes, Carolina for our 3-degree guarantee. Only missed it by 1 degree today. Glassboro donates another $100, so we have $400, and that is money in the bank. You're watching News 2 at 6.